Hello, my name is Nhett, that's Nhettt. I am an upcoming sophomore at NYU studying film and television. If you're new here, welcome. I wear a mask because I feel more comfortable that way on YouTube, and I make videos trying to help people who are in school. Yeah. I had a lot of expectations entering university. I think we all do. Some of them were exceeded, some of them were not met, and some of them were just completely different from the reality. So I'm going to talk about them. Not going to be talking about all of them, of course, but I have a list of some that could be pretty interesting, I think. Do note that, like I said, I'm a film major at NYU, at Tisch, incoming sophomore. Like, my experiences might not be exactly the same as yours or as some others. It could really depend on your college, your major, stuff like that. So let's get into it. Okay, the first one is that this is so silly. People still use pen and paper to take their notes. I'm telling you guys right now, I have heard people say, like, everyone uses an iPad or a laptop and you only use pen and paper for like specific like math classes or something, but that is just not true. At least for me, it was not. And I feel like in so many college essentials videos, people are like, get an iPad and a laptop and a bunch of notebooks, or get an iPad because it's the best way to take notes and stuff like that. Yeah, no hate to any of those videos at all. I still found them really helpful. It's just I feel like pen and paper versus iPad versus laptop doesn't have like a one universal answer. Like, it depends on the class and personal preference. Yeah, I liked to have my laptop with me all the time and then a small notebook so it's not like taking up an insane amount of space. I had some classes where my professors preferred that we use pen and paper over electronics. There were some like recitations where we really didn't need to take that many notes at all, but you could if you wanted to. And my gen ed classes, I definitely used my laptop often. So it really depends on the class, I think. I want to make one soon where I'm going to talk about a lot of the stuff you don't need for college and things that you should wait to buy. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe so you could, I don't know, so you don't miss it. So yeah, it's okay if you want to write with pen and paper. Like, not everyone wants to type out their stuff. Not everyone wants to use their electronics for every single class, you know? But if you want to, then you do you. Next, I like this one. There are like study methods from high school that I used in college that still worked. I feel like maybe some of you guys have had teachers in high school who are like, yeah, this thing right here, this is not gonna fly in college. This is not gonna work in college. Or maybe you've seen like study vloggers online who are like, these are strategies you need to use in college that didn't work in high school or whatever. I think it really depends on what you did in high school, but some of the things that I did in high school I think still worked pretty well in college. Most notably, I can make a whole video on this too. Oh my gosh. Most notably, I combine a lot of my different learning styles with active recall. So, because you know how some people learn better by like listening, by writing something down, by reading it, by doing it. I'm a combination of like all of those. Like, my learning style is all of those things combined. And then I like to sort of put those together with active recall. So let's say I have a document that I need to like memorize some stuff from and read for like an exam. I make sure I read it. I use text to speech to listen to it. I write down the important information like over and over, and like use active recall. So like I put the document away, write down all the things I remember, see what I forgot, go back to the text, all that good stuff. So yeah, that I feel like is like my main study method that works a lot for me, just because I don't know, I know my learning styles, and I like to combine those with flashcards sometimes, depending on the exam, depending on the class. But point is, that's something that I did in high school that I did this year, like this past college freshman year, that still worked pretty well for me. Next, the class sizes can vary like so much. I had a class that was genuinely like I think like 11 people. But then I also had classes that were like over 100 of us. So maybe that's like a film thing or a Tisch thing or specific to like certain majors or something. But yeah, I just wasn't expecting like genuinely like such small classes. I think I definitely had some that were like normal size, especially the ones that were in like classroom settings that felt similar to high school. But in the ones that were in like massive like auditoriums, those were interesting. And then I had other classes that were in like these small little rooms with like 11 of us. Um, those were mostly like recitations or like my production classes. Maybe not too many recitations. That was like my storytelling strategies recitation. I think my performance strategies recitation was also small compared to like a high school class for me. The class sizes can really vary, which was surprising. I feel like they both have their benefits. Like the small classes are nice because you can get like more like personalized feedback. It's much easier to like I feel like communicate with my professor and my classmates and stuff like that way. But the big classes I think are also nice because I feel like there's a lot less like pressure. Like I'm a lot less likely to get like called on at random or like stuff like that. Next, you can make some pretty good friendships in like the first month school. That's one of the things I feel like a lot of university vloggers have said that I think is actually true. Like the first month is like so important when it comes to making friendships, especially because of like welcome week events, welcome weekend events. Your residence hall is going to have a bunch of events, and there's lots of things to go to, lots of activities to do where you can make friends, and introductions and classes, things like that. Of course, the rest of the year is also important. Like you can make new friends at the very end of the year too, in the middle of the year, all of that. But the first month really is important. All of my closest friends that I have currently, like from freshman year, were made in that first month. Like, or I met them in that first month. Some of them we might have taken a little bit longer to become close, but I met them all that first month. Some of them it was like the first week, like during welcome week, but like whoa, during welcome week, like before class even started, we became friends. I wasn't expecting that because making friends was like my biggest fear, like my biggest worry. So seeing like how quickly I was able to like make some friendships that actually lasted throughout the whole year, I was really glad. Like really, really glad. I'd say if you meet some people and hang out with some people in the first like month of school, especially like during welcome week, to really like make sure you get their contact information, like their Instagram or something. If you see yourself actually like being their friend, like if you meet them, you say you have a little conversation at an event and you're just not feeling it, then there are lots of other people, you know. But if you and someone are like having a good conversation, you'll have stuff in common, you feel like you'd be good friends with them, like definitely make an effort to get their contacts information and like text them asking them how they're doing, how classes have been, if they want to meet up for another event or something like that. Yeah. This next one, this still affects me and I'm not even on campus right now. My sleep habits shifted dramatically the moment I stepped foot at NYU. Like, I woke up at 6 a.m. every day for high school. So I thought, oh, I can do a 9:30 class. That's perfectly fine. I could wake up at like 8, 8:30. I'll be great. Like, what? I cannot. I cannot wake up at 8. I cannot wake up at 8:30. I cannot wake up at 9. I learned very quickly first semester that 9:30 classes are not for me. For me personally, it did not matter how early I woke up for high school. College is just not the same. So, first semester I had 4 9:30 classes. Second semester, we made sure to avoid those. I had second semester I started my day at like 12:30 twice a week. I think like 10:30 another day. And then I had two 9:30 classes I had no choice but to take, and I did not like it, but I got through it. Next semester, I think like I have two 9 o'clock classes that I cannot avoid, and then the rest of my days start at like 11:30. So maybe it could work out for you. Like maybe you woke up really early for high school and you can still do it in college. But if your sleep habits, if your fatigue, if your energy levels change, don't say I didn't warn you. Next, the time between classes. Now, some of my classes I had like 15 minutes between, which I had to use to like walk to the class. Other times I had like an hour and 15 minutes, like an hour, 3 minutes ish between classes. Sometimes I had well over that. What happens between those classes really depends on your work habits. I had a job, so a lot of time between my classes was spent like literally working working at my job. But when I was not working at my job and I had time between classes, a lot of that time I was hoping to use towards like a nap or watching YouTube or just chilling. But a lot of that time is going to be spent doing assignments and studying and stuff like that. If you manage your time well, you'll definitely have some time between classes for like naps or going out to like eat, of course, stuff like that. I had this one like little time first semester where I would go like thrifting between classes. Those were the days, bro. That was so fun. Like those were like the best times ever. Uh, but around like finals week or midterms, a lot of the time between your classes will be spent like studying and doing work. Last but not least, I know I just finished saying that sometimes the 15 minutes between some of my classes were spent like walking to each class, but I feel like the classes were actually like really close to each other. That's this last thing. Classes were closer together than I thought. I don't think there was ever a time I actually had to spend like the full 15 minutes just walking. Like I remember first semester when I had two back-to-back classes with only 15 minutes between. They were right across the street from each other, like literally right across the street from each other, and then I would get like a snack or just be early to the next class or something. There was another time this semester I had a class 15 minutes after another class. They weren't that far from each other at all. Yeah, like I don't know why. I think because I've seen like so many like little meme reels about people biking to class or skateboarding to class or having to travel like a bajillion miles to class. It's like not NYU, at least not NYU. It could depend on your campus, but farthest walk I had to do was like 12 minutes from my dorm to Paulson. That was definitely the farthest I had to walk. So yeah, the classes are really close together, depending on again your classes. So many NYU buildings are like pretty close to each other, like around the Washington Square Park area. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something. If you have any more questions, you can ask in the comments. Yeah, I'll see if I can answer them. You want me to do another part of this? You can let me know. I feel like I'm always learning something new about NYU and college in general. So, yeah, thanks for watching to the end. See you later. Bye.